got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, what do you think about that awesome orb or whatever the heck it is? It kind of looks like it may be more faceted, maybe not a perfect sphere, a tetrahedron. I don't know what that is. Is it a balloon? What is it? Let me know your thoughts. Captured in October over Taiwan. Really intriguing object. Meanwhile, Deep Prasad, quantum computer guru Deep Prasad, and also experiencer, and I've talked about his experiences with a UFO that superimposed itself over the place where he was in and then gave him a strange download. I've talked about his experiences numerous times. Well, he says, about to change the world forever, indefinitely. Okay, I'm assuming he's talking about something involving quantum computers and not necessarily ET disclosure, but you never know because he's very active in the disclosure, area as well. But I'm assuming there's been some huge advancement with quantum computers that could change the world, as he says, indefinitely. So keep your eye on that one. Meanwhile, we've got a beautiful, fast-moving UFO captured by Paul Oglesby. Look at this. One of these fast-moving things right there. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully my big head didn't block it. But look at that. Right there. Good capture of something really interesting. Is that a shooting star? Is that a UFO? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, has disclosure stalled in the halls of Congress? Well, Eric Burleson says not so fast.
And it does feel like there was so much momentum in 2022, 2023. Grush testifies, and then it does feel like it stalled a bit, right? The momentum?
Well, honestly, I think it's accelerated. The momentum as far as a public hearing, maybe per se, has slowed. But behind the scenes, there's been a ton of activity that's happened.
So what am I missing? Like movement on whistleblower protections, UAP Disclosure Act, is that what you're talking about?
Well, there's that, but as far as getting the right briefings that we need, we've got movement there. We've got a change in leadership that is opening up an opportunity to get some more information to the Disclosure Task Force that was previously blocked. We have, with David Grush is leading the way, getting, helping us identify locations, sites, and the people to talk to. Some people we may have to subpoena to come forward. So he's got a categorization of friendly witnesses and then the hostile witnesses that we'll have to subpoena. And then there's like a middle category of people that would be friendly, but they're not going to come forward unless you subpoena them.
You think so?
Okay, well, that's great. Well, I'm glad to see that Eric Burleson is optimistic about the way things are going. It certainly looks like things have slowed down, but apparently behind the scenes, things are speeding up. They're getting access to stuff that they weren't getting before, thanks to the White House, which is really interesting because, of course, according to Project Preserve Destiny, that information from the Italian journalist, Trump has commandeered some of the UFO control group, wrested it from the power of the Pentagon and put it under the power of the White House, under his direct purview. So could that be opening some doors for Eric Burleson and others in the UAP caucus? Is that what he's talking about? Is he talking about something else altogether different? Let me know your theories. Either way, I'm really excited about these witnesses that David Grush is putting them on to, that hopefully they will be able to bring forward at the next hearing, some of which they may have to subpoena. Really juicy stuff. Now, talking about the executive branch, Christopher Sharp has an awesome new article here from Liberation Times. In a new interview with podcaster Stephen Diener on July 8th, Representative Burleson said that many special access programs related to UFOs operate directly under the supervision of the White House. Sources tell Liberation Times that the drive for secrecy starts inside the White House itself, pushed by career officials who span administrations and work in two offices so sensitive their names cannot be disclosed publicly. That is super intriguing. So we're talking about like deep state at the executive level. Career bureaucrats who don't come and go, from one administration to the next, but stay in place. Because that's what I've been reporting on. It seems like more and more lately is that some of this stuff is directly under the purview of the executive branch, possibly now more so than ever if the Project Preserve Destiny stuff is accurate. But yeah, it seems like there is some control of some of this from the executive branch. And thanks to Christopher Sharp's reporting, we may be getting an insight in how that is done. As these career bureaucrats who are there from administration to administration. According to these sources, UAP missions are acknowledged at the highest levels of the White House, but remain hidden from most cabinet agencies behind elaborate cover programs. If true, the claim suggests UAP missions are far more centralized and politically sensitive than previously reported. One defense source pointed to Dan Sherman's book Above Black Project Preserve Destiny as a useful primer on how such compartmentalization works. His description of layered secrecy mirrors today's system, according to the source. The 6 layers are public layer, the unclassified, the controlled layer for official use only, secret, material whose unauthorized disclosure could seriously harm national security, top secret, code word compartments, black missions, conventional clandestine projects and missions, such as CIA JSOC efforts to recover foreign hardware. Knowledge is limited to the president and a handful of lawmakers. The Gang of 8. Programs within programs, genuine UAP activities concealed inside black missions and projects. Even presidents can be kept at arm's length. Probing questions are often deflected with a limited briefing on the outer mission or project. What has been alleged by whistleblowers, such as former senior intelligence official David Grush, resembles Sherman's description. He alleged that UAP activities have been hidden within conventional SAPs belonging to the DoD in CAPS, Controlled Access Programs, belonging to the CIA and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Grush said that UAP activities have been nested within the programs. Yeah, you got programs within programs, SAPs versus CAPS, a complicated picture indeed. Anyway, I will let you read the whole thing at your leisure, but I think that's some really interesting insight into how all of this might be structured and hidden from the American public and the people of the world. Great reporting from Christopher Sharp. Meanwhile, James Hodgkins, one of the psionic assets, or the psychics working with Skywatcher and supposedly making contact with these objects or beings or whatever they are that they are luring in to, capture on camera and whatever other sensors they have and get data on this. They can then be theoretically peer reviewed. I mean, we'll see, but that's the idea. And even Gary Nolan is working with them to make sure that is possible. Well, James Hodgkins says his own family has suffered from the hitchhiker effect. So let's hear him talk about it. And David Haith is the one that clued me into this. So thank you, David.
To your hitchhiker question, that's a fun one. Yes, we have experienced that once. The story is I was meeting a woman who was psychic for the very first time. Her experiences were very dark since early childhood. A lot of really negative, scary stuff had happened to her. And there was one specific type of entity that she had seen her entire life. And she told me about it on the phone call. And I'm being there's a specific reason I'm not mentioning what it is in this call, and you'll understand why. So I listened to all this, didn't think anything, went off, had dinner, wife and family, did not mention this at all to my wife or kids. Very next day, my wife was driving my daughter somewhere, and standing on the street in broad daylight, my oldest daughter described to a T the exact same entity, which I was like, pardon? That was really my first experience with like a really negative hitchhiker effect. And I didn't make a big deal out of it because I didn't want to scare her, but she started seeing it in her room repeatedly. Mm-hmm. And basically what I told her is, this thing has no power, has no authority. probably likes that you're scared. You just need, even if you're scared, just tell it, I'm not afraid of you, and see what happens. She did that literally one time and it went away. And it also, like, she no longer has like any fear of this despite being very young.
Okay, well, that's a really fascinating experience. Just telling the boogeyman that you're not afraid of it makes it go away. And all of this happened because of this woman that he met, apparently, and the information that she relayed. Something latched on, possibly with that. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, let me know how you think all of that happened. That is a really strange sort of hitchhiker to have happened. It reminds me a little bit about the sky watch I went to about a month ago, where somebody told me about this orb that he had seen, the homeowner. And later on, I saw that same orb, or one just like it. But with James Hodgkin's story, it's one person removed. The person experiencing this hadn't heard the original story. So super fascinating. And let me know what sort of entity you think James is talking about. We're talking about shadow beings. We're talking about mantids. What is going on? What is the story there? Speaking of skinwalkers, Tim Clark sent me a video of what might actually be skinwalkers. Let me know.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay. I mean, is that, just some goats and somebody CGI them to make them look like long-limbed, horrifying beings? Or are those legitimately anomalous things? Or possibly just skinny people on all fours looking creepy to get a viral video? What is going on here with this video? Tim is trying to get some more information about this to see if there's any corroboration or any of these witnesses that maybe have come out publicly talking about this. But it's definitely a compelling video. Meanwhile, Undercover UK is sharing the alien interview supposedly filmed not by the Area 51 guys, the S4 alien interview shared by Jon Stewart, or popularized by Jon Stewart, but no, the KGB interview or interrogation with an alien. So let Rob take it away. I'll mute my head so you can see Rob and this awesome potential alien.
It looks freaky as hell from that angle. It's still, it kind of still does, but this is something that is being put in the public eye quite a lot. This very image, we're seeing a lot of AI images like this. So I don't know. It depends how old the footage is, I suppose. At Gandalf _El Pulpo, that's who's put the video up. And I'm going to ask Eddie and find out, if this is similar to what... well, to be honest with you, Skinny Bob, right? Skinny Bob. Now, I think Skinny Bob's real, based on everything I've heard and seen. This looks like Skinny Bob a little bit different shaped head, but, there's going to be more than one species out there, right? So, who knows? That's a bit freaky, that is.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky. So let me know if you think that is a real alien that we're looking at in a supposed interview with the KGB. Meanwhile, a lot of people think that Three Eye Atlas is the event that Jeremy Corbell was predicting when he was talking about something scary coming toward Earth, and we were going to be lied to and told it was an alien invasion. Well, here he is responding to that very idea.
Well, okay, so let's talk about the idea of if it were true, but I want to be really clear on this. I don't think this particular announcement is specifically the undercurrent that I was talking about. It was a general push to get people to begin to feel or believe this, and it comes specifically from this 1970s classified document that I was exposed to at some point, and I kind of reverse engineered it and figured out what people were doing. So to be very clear, I personally, and look, I could be wrong. George always makes a joke that I could be wrong with it, but it's true, I could be wrong. But what I've noticed is that within the disinformation within the UFO community, that this was being used as a currency to get people who have an audience to become enrolled and start speaking the speak that is desired by others. So I just kind of stepped up and said, look, Could be wrong. I might look like a fool, but this is the trend I'm seeing.
Right.
And I don't buy it. And I think you should be forewarned not to buy it.
Right.
I think it's nefarious disinformation, just
Right.
like the Lockheed Martin built the Tic Tac, absolute bullshit passage material from the CIA that I warned people about 2 years ago is now manifesting. It just means that I got my ear to the ground on this. I talk with a lot of people.
Okay, he talks to a lot of people. Of course he does. But there you go. Jeremy Corbell saying 3-Eye Atlas is not the BS disinformation doomsday event that he had been predicting. Last but not least, a seal coming up for air in the Arctic Ocean. Let me know what you think about this awesome seal and everything else covered in the comments below. Like and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever in the merch store below. Become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.